Hey folks, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more Frostpunk 2 in our Utopia builder. We are playing in Darby Hill, Monteshire at Captain difficulty, and a whiteout is on the way. Now, in the last video, I was highly concerned that, well, pretty soon, we were going to have huge problems where I run out of food, because I have nowhere near enough to survive this whiteout. And I was really racking my brain trying to think, how the heck are we going to survive this? I don't want to use an emergency shift, because people usually die. And if I'm going for a deathless run, that wouldn't work. I could go for the excessive fertilization, but I only have a little bit of time. I'm not sure it would make enough of a difference. I even was considering what would make sense as far as like picking up my population and moving them over to the food colony right now, so that we could have less mouths to feed in Darby Hill, Monteshire while they traveled across the Frostlands. Even though you'd think that they would die in a whiteout, I'm pretty sure they don't. That could be a way of saving me, etc., etc. However, I think that we're actually going to be fine. Barely, but I think we will. Why? Because there's something I didn't realize was in this game. There are multiple types of whiteouts. You look up over here, you can see that this is not a sun-dimming whiteout that would knock out our food production. This is a mine-flooding whiteout, which is going to greatly reduce my coal production. Now, that is still a problem in that I actually do need all of this coal, but I think I'm much more in a position to get enough coal to survive this than having enough food. So this actually could be our saving grace. We're going to try for this, but this does mean that there are multiple kinds of whiteouts in the game that we're going to have to worry about. I know that there is also a, I think it's a brittle whiteout that reduces our material. Like anything that destroys your food, your materials, or your coal production exists. There might be more beyond that. So, yeah, I don't know. This might be survivable now. It's gonna be close, but I think we can make it. We're gonna have to build up as much oil and coal as possible. I need to get another fuel stockpile. We're gonna build this up, and I need to get myself my upgrades to my generator so we can get a little bit more efficiency out of what heat I currently do have. We should also consider turning down any buildings we don't need at the moment and start saving myself some fuel. So for example, I don't need exploration teams right now. We're gonna have to send them all back home anyway. I can pull back on my goods production for right now because, well, again, I'm not gonna do anything with that as long as we have a surplus. Who really cares? I can do the same thing and pull back a fair bit when it comes to my materials production. In fact, if we go into a slight negative, that's fine. We still have 165 weeks of this. That's going to save me a lot of coal. I'm not going to turn down food production, though. Once we lose access to our hunting herds outside the city, I think this is going to be a problem. I feel like I need to raise some funds. Let's go ahead and raise a few from the Ice Blood since they are willing to do it. Let's get that fuel stockpile, which is good because we'll be filling up our stockpile soon. Never mind, we are now in the negative. There's the whiteout. We did not have a lot of time. Okay, how much food do we have? Enough for 76 weeks. That is good enough. How much coal do we have? 16 weeks. That is not enough. So if I do not turn on my coal, oil burning, we are not going to survive this storm. That is what I'm learning out of this. We just need a little bit more heat stamps, and then I can upgrade my generator. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to burn through this oil very quickly. I do not expect this to last, but that's okay. I just need it to give me a bit more time to start rebuilding my fuel stockpile, which we should be able to do. I'm producing way more coal than I expected. Hold on. We still get... Oh, right. Because this is an upgraded coal mining settlement, we actually can still operate this during the whiteout, which still feels weird to me. I feel like we shouldn't be able to deliver anything, but there we go. So, okay, we have a lot of coal production still going on. That is great. So if I go to the generator and turn on the overdrive, we can make this last a bit longer. This will bring me to 10 weeks of oil. It's going to take me 17 weeks to fully fill up the coal stockpile. And then with whatever we've got left, that's what we need to survive. And then the temperature's going to drop again, by the way. It's going to raise, and then it's going to go right back down. So the temperature we're dealing with right now, this is about to be the norm. That actually scares me a little bit now that I think about it. I don't know how we're going to deal with that right now, to be honest. I feel like maybe... Oh, I hate to think this, but maybe. Maybe we have no choice but to rely on geothermal plants. Or we need to worry about things like charcoal plants in order to produce a lot more coal. And then with coal, we could get the coal liquefactors up and a-running, and this would take coal and turn it into oil, and that's just a net increase in heat. Does create some disease. Does cause some material demand, it does take workforce, but it is a net gain in heat. A pretty substantial one, actually. So, we're going to have to find new ways of getting more efficient with our heat, I think. Generator upgrade level 2 might not be a bad idea either. We can optimize our intake to whatever we want and get even more heat yield out of each individual fuel type. Yeah, I actually don't think we have a choice but to do research on nothing but heat improvement for a little bit. because this is only going to stay bad. It's not a whiteout, sure. So it could be worse, but it's pretty bad. That said, if I don't find ways of getting more workers, we're going to be in trouble. I mean, it may look like I have a lot right now, but that's because I disabled a lot of my different districts. I think I want to go for the communal parenthood here. Yeah, this would be a way of getting a lot of extra active workers, even though I lose some population growth. Both of these are kind of a win for me right now. Too much population growth would actually be a hindrance. So we're going to try that. If I also don't find ways of dealing with my squalor soon, we're going to be in trouble. I could build a ventilation tower and try to burn this down. I think we have no choice, even though this is going to cost me a bit of heat, and that does scare me, because I can't afford to lose a lot of heat. We're really pushing it, but I've got to start burning this down, or tension will start to rise. I'll lose a lot of relations, trust will go down, bad things will happen. My food stockpile is not lasting quite as long as I would have expected. Only 31 weeks now? Doesn't seem very good. We're about to run out of oil. There it goes. All right, how much coal do I have? 25 weeks. That is, I think, barely enough to survive with what I've got, but I'm going to survive a bit better than that. So let's go ahead and reduce things like our materials production. Save me a little bit. 27 weeks. Okay. We can afford to pull back a little bit on my goods. That'll last for 38 there. Only 17 weeks for the materials? That's not that much longer than I expected, to be honest. Not nearly as long as I expected. Yeah, still only 25 weeks here. That's about how long I need to survive. It's just that the generator's going to have to turn off the overdrive at some point soon. So that's kind of a problem for me. Still, we'll go for the communal parenthood. That at least will get me a bit of extra workers, so I'll have more I can play with. We're having to make promises to make this all work, though, which is a small problem. But that said, I made a promise to research heat recycling, which reduces the heat demand of my housing districts, and considering how bad they are right now, that's actually a completely fine thing. So we'll go ahead and do that probably next. Not much longer on this generator, unfortunately, and all of a sudden, whoa, 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 why are we suddenly burning through so much more? The coal mining settlement is no longer delivering unmet requirements. What are we out of? It's because we're out of, hang on, it's because we ran out of exploration teams? 1 second, hold on. There we go. I think we're back to being okay. God, that scared the frick out of me. Don't do that to me, people. Don't do that. Okay, the overdrive has to be turned off now, or the risk of accident is too high, and I could have people die. That means that I've only got 4 weeks left of coal. That is not a lot, but, we should now have, what? Heating is going to be improved. We just need to get the heat recycling, which I would expect most people to support, and they do. Okay, that helps. That brings me up to still only 4 weeks. This was what, I thought it was 140 earlier. Maybe it was 160. That might have not saved me as much as I would have liked. I'm unsure. Generator upgrade level 2, I think, would be the next thing for me to do, because I have enough steam cores to make that work, and more efficiency out of my heat would go a long way. And we're just going to have to baby the overdrive a little bit, and just keep bringing it up to 80%, and just buy myself time. That's all we're doing. We don't have to last long. Just a tiny bit long, and there we go. Okay, we have survived the whiteout. Barely, but we did survive the whiteout. Good, good, good. We need to get all of these teams back up and running. Okay, so now we can go back into the frosts. I need to get my coal production and my oil production. There's more coal over this way. We can explore a little bit. We're going to run out of some food here pretty soon. I want to work my way toward maybe some more oil sources. If I could find another oil settlement, not a coal settlement, you know, not an outpost, but an actual settlement we could upgrade, that would be huge. This cartographer's base will be a way of reducing the number of people we need to actually do exploration. We could try setting this up. It is a net gain, I think, in the number of explorers we could get out of this. It's just not a lot. We have to turn it into a settlement, and we could get a lot of extra Frostland teams, a lot of them. But it's expensive from a population perspective, so, I mean, we're only producing 858 coal. We could get up to 200,000, 31 weeks. If this continues, we'd be able to get this up in time to actually be ready for another whiteout, maybe, but the temperature's going to drop, so this is going to go back down a lot. Oh, no. We have got to get a Generator 2 upgrade. It's not optional. And with all of my districts back up and running, and even with some laws passed to boost up my active workers, we still only have 400 remaining. That's just, it's not much to work with, guys. It's really not. At least everyone seems to like me for now. That's good. In fact, you'd even be looking at this and thinking, hey, actually, your economy is looking solid across the board. You've survived. You're going to be fine. I don't know, man. I think you can have multiple storms in endless mode. I think you can. In which case, we're going to be in some trouble. What about placing down, like, a heating hub? This actually could still be good. Do this get a lot of heat? Yeah, we get 120 more heat in places, some places anyway, if we did this. It would cost me materials and a little bit of workforce, but in a pinch, if we need to build up more heat, that is an option for us. Heating hubs, I feel like, are kind of the only hub that are usually worth building, as long as you've got enough materials production. Which, at the moment, I don't, really. That's the problem. Like, this infinite source will really only do me so much good pretty soon. Like, if we do not find some additional places we can extract out in the wild, we're in trouble. I've got to get my population up, and I've got to start setting up some more colonies. That's what it's going to come down to. We have to. And now we're losing food because I no longer have any herds outside the city. Oh, God. And unfortunately, the technocrats are demanding mandatory schools, and I have to let this pass. Which means we're about to lose more active worker. Oh, this didn't pass. Well, honestly, that's technically a broken promise to them, but it's not that bad. They don't hate me that much. I think I'll live with that. That's honestly fine. I couldn't afford to lose the active workers right now anyway. How am I going to get more food? For real, I think my only option is to start setting up some of these food colonies. I think we have to do this. Otherwise, what else am I going to do? I need materials, and I need food. So this is kind of my only option, right? I'm going to take a big risk right now. We're going to spend some of our workforce, and by some, I mean a lot of our workforce, to then upgrade the outer settlements here, this Fortitude base, which means now we have 50 extra Frostland teams. And I'm going to use this to start just greatly exploring the Frostlands. We've got to find stuff, and we've got to find it now. That includes new sources of food, by the way. And also sending these colonists. Yeah, I think we have no choice. We have to do it. All right, send the colonists. That's 3,000 population I just lost. Which means a lot of our buildings here are shutting down. I cannot afford to keep losing the food, though, so where else can I safely pull back for the moment? That's going to be probably in some materials and in some goods production. Get that population back over here. We're now in the positive on our food, and I did just get an upgrade to my population over here. Can we get... that's going to cost me too many materials. Hold on, we can balance this out. Hold on. And then I just need more people to work here on housing, and I think we're actually okay. Yes. And we have to get another ventilation tower, unfortunately, which is going to cost me workforce I don't want to spend, but it's what I've got. Temperature drops. That cost me a couple hundred more coal. Okay. I've got the Ice Bloods helping to speed up some of these expeditions, so I'm hoping we are going to discover these things a little bit faster. I'm searching out like 4 tiles at a time. Like, I am investing very heavily in the Frostlands. It is the only way we are going to survive when the next whiteout hits. Probably worth setting up some additional oil over here. Let's do that. So that's getting me an extra 125 oil since we did build up a skyway. So that means we're now making 1,000 coal. Okay. Temperature's about to drop again, but this fuel mix is at least somewhat pretty good for us. Decent, anyway. It's not outstanding. Oh, God, and there's a whiteout. Oh, frick me. All right, what kind of a whiteout is it? Can we see? We can't see yet. Oh, God. All right, we do not have a lot of time. This game is now throwing a lot at me. A lot. The rallies from the Ice Bloods will help a little bit, because then I can turn up production. And I'm going to need to do that if I'm going to send resources to my new colony. Temperature drops again. Still making 770 coal. Okay, 9 weeks is going to be a full. Ugh. What do we find down here? Anything helpful? Core Worshipper. Take a core. Sure. What do we find over here? Steam Slay. Take 50,000 coal. I think you can do that and it actually does go over your stockpile, but let's come back for that one later. I'm now so very, very scared. All right, can we see what it is now? No, I still can't see. We have to stockpile so much resources right now because I don't know what this next whiteout's going to do to me. I really don't. A new idea just got... Really? Lunatic asylums? Okay. Yeah, some people might be getting a little bit big for their britches. I really do not like that adaptation continues to build up so much. Tradition and reason were kind of evening out a little bit, but adaptation and progress... Gosh dang it, we have got to find a way to get some more progress technologies built up in this city, and quick. We're sort of okay right now. Sort of. But I don't feel comfortable with the situation. At all. Not at all. Now there's unrest in the city. Gosh dang it. Research machine attendance? No, heat recycling is good. I don't know why the technocrats would ever say that that's a bad idea. What would machine attendance do? Can I actually see, please? They would do workforce significantly decreased. It's pretty good. All right, I'm going to try this. That would get me more workers at a time when I need more workers. It's not a bad technology to have. If it shuts them up so that they're not going to try to, you know, start some protests, that'd be fine. I cannot afford protests right now. Also, what do we discover down over here? We found Devil's Forge, chimneys poking through the snow, another stockpile of coal. No, thank you. Old Scout's Point, 1,600 foragers. Sure, we'll take them. That leaves me with 32 more explorers. Where else can I go? I need food sources, right? But we're about to get the fuel colony, so food over here will be fine. What about this direction? What do we get? An abandoned staging area leading to a source of materials. Up this way. Okay, so maybe this is going to lead toward that material colony we're going to need to set up at some point. A coal mining complex, 400 more. All right, good to know that that exists. And that could be a settlement. So that is a permanent source of up to 600 more coal if we can get this set up. That is huge, and we could shut down a lot of these outposts. If we can get this to work, that actually will save me quite a lot. Not that I need coal right now, but, I mean, again, until I know what this whiteout is, it's going to have to be fine. We're now capped out on coal. This is where I'd like to have my generator too, so I can choose the mix, because if I'm capped on coal, like, can we just burn? I guess we don't have any more oil to burn. We are burning as much of it as I'm able to. Okay, so we need even more fuel stockpiles then, but that's more workforce every time we do this. I'd really rather not. Tell you what, we'll just turn off our coal district over here for the moment. Save the coal, don't waste it. New population arrives, that's fine. We've got a lot of housing districts that we can then turn on, and that should solve the problem. And then if we want to get ourselves the mining complex, 800 workforce to do that, become a permanent deposit. I can hold off on this for a moment, though. We're actually doing okay in terms of our coal. Let's just give this a minute. Maybe I can explore somewhere else that would make sense. Like going to this broken mountain. What do we find over here? Another huge source of oil. Okay. Good. Looks like it's not a settlement, though. And then a frozen tableau. We could butcher a herd. I guess there's no reason not to. We can't do anything else with that food. And there's my generator, level 2. Okay. So let's go to central. We don't have enough steam cores anymore. Crap. Okay, I need to explore and find steam cores. That's fine. We've got time. We're okay on fuel at the moment. Machine attendants. A radical idea. This is going to upset people. We're going to try it. Maybe some radical ideas to offset the damage of adaptation and stuff like that wouldn't be a horrible plan. Or maybe it's a really bad plan and I'm about to set myself off into a civil war. I really hope not. Oh, good. Machine attendant controversy. I could continue the research, but it'll be slow. If it's slow, I don't think it finishes in time to meet the promises. If we do this, we would make a lot of people very angry, and research speed is significantly decreased anyway. So no matter what, this is going to be really slow because the majority of people do not support this idea. I'm going to have to try for this. This is going to be done when? 14 weeks? 32 weeks left to placate? Okay, we're actually fine. Never mind. Food colony is almost done. There it is. Okay. So now we can start getting our food production way, way up. Though now I also need to be able to supply a lot of other things to people. And also I need those steam cores. So anywhere that there are steam cores, let's go get them. So let's take a look at our new colony. This looks a lot like the Broken Shores map, actually. Interesting. Maybe you can go to all the different maps. What do we have as far as resources? Lots of material and food over in this direction, including infinite sources, which I need, you know, more cores for, but it's fine. And then there is indeed another logistics point we could use for more of our explorers. Okay. So this place will never have any coal production locally. It's never, unless I could build up some local goods production, I suppose. But obviously the most important thing is to get things like the food and the materials up. Actually, we're producing a ton of food over here already for some reason. Well, that's a little interesting. Okay, let's turn on our local generator. It says we're even producing coal. How are we producing local coal? I guess it's already coming out of our city stockpile. Okay. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and start some resource transfers. We're going to send a bunch of food back to the city, and we are going to send more goods over here so we have no issues. If I could just build out at least a couple of housing districts, this place would surprisingly be fairly stable. We have a lot of extra workforce to work with, though. I actually could send people back to Darby Hill Montashire and keep them working, and this place would be It looks like completely self-sufficient, which is just bizarre. But obviously I have to use this area to get more materials and more food, right? Because we know we're not going to have enough of a source back in the city. So one way or another, we know we have to do that. I need a lot of cores is what I need. I need several more cores. How am I going to find a ton of cores? Winterhome doesn't exist on this map, right? So what am I going to do? This is still pretty intense, guys. I mean, I know that some people think that, like, Frostpunk 2 and stuff was a little bit too easy for some people, but, like, actually, this is still pretty darn tough. I'm really having to think carefully about what we're doing. Now, the Icebloods want to host a vote on allowing only productive outsiders. That failed. Okay. There's enough to keep them happy, so we keep our rallies going, which is why I gave them that vote. I actually wouldn't normally be opposed to the allowing only the productive outsiders, because that'd be a way of getting more workforce. But it also would be a way of ruining more of my merit, which, by the way, equality appears to have boosted over merit all of a sudden. How the heck did that happen? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and start frost breaking some more areas out over here. Let's get things like the Steam access in case I end up needing it. And then there's plenty more where that came from right over here, too. Like, I know Steam's not great, but we're good at taking mixes of things. That's kind of our deal. Machine attendance law is now researched. Okay. Do we want to research those geothermal plants now? Or we could do other things like in the city. I haven't done anything with, like, worker compensation still. Like, we could do equal pay, though actually, now that equality's better, I prefer to go for this. With the efficiency bonuses and the production increase. Then we could go for things like the city-run alcohol shops. That wouldn't be so bad, right? What do we find over here? A bonfire camp with more population. Sure, we'll take them. We found another stockpile of coal. Okay, we're finding a lot of stockpiles of coal, but not a lot else that's useful. Now we're burning through some coal because I moved some teams around. That's not a big deal. The temperature is going to rise. We still do not know what kind of a whiteout this is going to be, so I don't know what to stockpile. So I'm just going to stockpile everything. A radical law is on the agenda. Now this one is going to be very difficult to pass. And I actually don't care if it does pass, because I don't want to make... Well, I mean, it is... Technically, this is a way of making huge progress towards... Well, progress. So, in a way, that would actually balance out things like the adaptation by a lot. But for now, all I needed to do was just make the technocrats happy. That's all I cared about. I don't really want to take risks with radical laws right now. But though that might be the best way to actually offset this. It really might be. We can come back to it later if we need to, alright? Okay, population just grew a lot more. Again, for the moment, that's fine. Let's just boost out our housing. This is the great thing about sending people to go and live out in the frosts is we just keep opening up a bunch of free real estate. So when our population grows, it's usually not that hard or that expensive to just go ahead and find them some more housing. I do think I need to raise some more funds with people, so we're going to. I'm going to leave the Icebloods alone. They're still getting me that extra population, which is quite nice. With the extra heat stamps, maybe we can go ahead and get the food colony online and doing something very useful. There's actually a couple of infinite sources of food, I just realized. Yeah, there's another one over here. Okay, so there's definitely three infinite sources of food on this particular map. Okay, so that's why this colony is so good. We're going to be able to keep that going for literally the rest of the game. No problem. What do we discover out in the frosts? Anything new? We got a buried village with... Okay, we actually did find some materials. Not a settlement, though. A crash automaton, 3 cores, gimme. That sounds very useful. Okay, there's something important over here. Let's go ahead and launch that expedition. Icebound Leviathan gives me nothing. Another herd of food. We don't need this immediately, so let me come back to that. Silent loggers. The furnace in the center is missing its core, etc., etc. We could get some prefabs or materials. I mean, we'll come back to that one, I guess. Not a huge deal one way or another. And there's a core worshiper again. Take the core. When in doubt, take the core. Keep exploring up here to the north. I can't find any more of these colonies, which is bothering me a little bit. I feel like we should have found it by now. Where was the marker for, like, the oil? You know? Like, what do these markers mean to me anymore? It doesn't really... This is hunting grounds. This is plenty of spare heat. No, this is also talking about hunting. Where the heck is my arrow pointing toward, like, the fuel colony? Or the materials colony. I don't care, either one. There's this one. Burning oil. Okay, maybe this one? So maybe it's not showing immediately, but like right here? Might be where the oil is. Or a fuel colony, I should say. So maybe we need to go off in this direction at some point. I think I saw that the materials colony was supposed to be in this general vicinity though, right? So let's head up over here. Efficiency bonuses are on the agenda. I do want those to pass quite badly. Research, surveillance, watchtowers. This is something I plan on doing regardless at some point, right? To keep crime low. Though crime actually has been fine so far. Another teaching hospital wouldn't be a bad thing as well to have. We could potentially just build one of these. Yeah, that's probably a guaranteed way of making things better. Because I'm going to have disease problems in the city. That's just a guaranteed thing. These production efficiency bonuses, though, should be pretty darn helpful. For sure. So now everyone's producing a lot more. So this could lead to the alcohol sales, and that would get me my heat stamps income up. It's not bad. Labor organization with mandatory unions would be another option to get our equality up. And then just a bunch of radical ideas after that. We still don't have any maintenance duty here, by the way, to reduce things like our materials demand, which could be good for us. Housing block. I don't think I care about any of that right now. Freight docks are something I haven't built yet, and these are quite good. Resource production from all outposts gets significantly increased, huh? But I need more stuff from the progress side of things. What's some more progress I could get? Geothermal plants, I guess? Just go down this route. There is no progress option here. Interesting. Maybe it'd be worth just going for the coal liquefactors. Placing a couple of these down, right? Get that coal, turn it into oil, net increase in our heat. Does take cores, though. So I don't know if it's going to do me a lot of good. We could also just turn a small amount of materials into a lot of coal. And this could be pretty good. I don't know. Alright. Automated freight dock, I think we just go ahead and build up. I know it's not as good as these, but we need some progress options. Or, no, you know what? No, let's just go for the alcohol sales first. Alright, let's just go for the alcohol sales first. It gets me heat stamps. That's one of my big bottlenecks still in this game. We might as well do that. And this is no longer a useful extraction district. Darn. Well, it's fine. That's one of the reasons we wanted to go ahead and start getting some material production over here in my new city. Ooh, we are about to run out of coal. Hello. Tell you what, I'll trade you. Alright, just go ahead and stockpile some materials in exchange for some coal. We've got a bunch of cores now, by the way, so we could go ahead and get the adaptive injectors, which I will. We're also full on 250,000 coal. I can't use this much coal, dude. Tell you what, we'll just go ahead and transfer as much over to the food colony as possible. That's just an extra buffer of stockpile capacity. What else have we discovered out over here? We found a buried village, which gets me what? Get out of here, warmer season. I know! There it is. 200 materials, again, okay, but not a settlement. Just give me settlements. That's all I want. I mean, I'm okay with the other stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's good, but I really would like the settlements. Now here's something I didn't know existed in the game. Okay, weird. Orphaned apprentices. Many are bewildered by the new situation. Parents are uncertain what to do with the children who are apprenticed to them. Since he's now everyone's child, do we keep him in our workshop? Or no? We have to repeal something? Oh, this sucks. All right, we could get rid of family apprenticeship and replace it with mandatory schooling. We could do that. That's not bad, exactly. It's not good either, but it's acceptable. Because at least this way we get some freaking research speed, right? What else have we discovered in the Frostlands? The Imperial Smelter. Okay, that is a lot more materials. This one can be turned into a settlement, so this will last through whiteouts. Good. And the materials colony hath been discovered. With an infinite source of coal and a lot of materials. It doesn't say an infinite source of materials, interestingly enough, but there is a source of materials. So, okay, that's good. All right, so we found that. So that's objective number 2. I still haven't found the fuel colony, but I think it's probably down in this general direction. Oh, we now know what the... Okay, so we actually do now know what the whiteout is going to be. It is going to be the brittle wood whiteout, which means we are going to stop producing materials only from frozen forests. Okay, that's fine, question mark? Because I can have a settlement which produces plenty of materials by itself. Plus, it won't affect anything else that makes materials. If I wanted to build like some composites factories or foundries or anything like that, that wouldn't be so bad. So really, it's just a matter of having enough food. Sorry, having enough food, having enough fuel, and then we've stockpiled a decent amount of materials. I just want to keep stockpiling as many as possible. That's it. That is, I think, kind of manageable. I'm also doing really just fine and dandy when it comes to my heat. Like, I'm producing way more coal than I know what to do with at this point. Way more coal than I know what to do with. So we'll turn off some of these unnecessary outposts, at least for the moment. And just keep exploring, I guess. Keep it going. We're gonna have to end this video here pretty soon. Now we're stockpiling 625 oil. There we go. There we go. That's what you want to see. We'll just keep bouncing back and forth between oil and coal. Keep those stockpiles nice and high. Badge of shame. Don't care, don't care. Wear your badge of shame. It's fine. Still completely out of heat stamps, but we are up to 25 a week. The city-run alcohol shops are giving me 5.7. There will probably be an event soon where we have to reduce that impact a little bit, because that is inevitable, but it's fine. In 18 weeks, we'll be maxed out on some materials. We probably want to get ourselves some more material hubs set up, and then we can get ourselves another sawmill over here. We just want to stockpile as much of this as possible, all right? As much as possible. We're about to finish a little bit more exploration, and then we'll probably call this video. Let's see what we find. Oh my god, we finished a lot. What do we got? The Imperial Manufactory for goods. Not a settlement. Oh, it is a settlement. Okay, infinite sources of goods. Underground warehouses for more stockpiles. Sheltered camp for more population. Sun Reacher for a core. I always need cores. Crystal Cathedral. Okay. There should be at some point, by the way, I think an outpost we could place down that I can harvest like 10 more cores from, but so far I haven't found it. So there's a lot more settlements that we could build if we're willing to spend our population. It's just a question of what we want. That's a very good question. What do we want? For now, I feel like if I can just set up this material stockpile, then we kind of eliminate issues for a while. As a settlement, I mean to say. Set this up as a settlement, and I think we eliminate any material shortages, maybe, during the whiteout, which means we're going to be fine. And I think we're going to end this video here before the next whiteout hits. So far, so good. Politically, we're pretty balanced. Not entirely, but we haven't led to any major problems. Tradition and reason, equality, merit, very equal. We need more progress, and this is where I could do a radical idea and see if that works, but it also might cause instant problems with the ice blood, so I'm going to avoid that for the moment. But so far, politically, we're okay. Economically, we're fine. We're producing lots of fuel. I still am struggling with heat stamps, but we're getting there. Workforce is okay. I think we're all right, actually. We may have finally turned the corner, and this is where things are going to be fine, but I've thought that before in Frostpunk 2, and then been smacked in the tuchus, so I'm going to try not to get overconfident. Remember, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.